Today we're going to create the next part of our community collage. The first thing we have to do is cut out some building shapes. Grab some scraps of different colors from the scrap bins and bring them to your seat. Make sure you don't just use the scrap how it is, but you should turn it into a different shape. You can use a pencil to draw on the back and then your scissors to cut that shape out. This shapes for your buildings should be small, not huge. My orange scrap is really big. As I fill up my space, I should use different colors for different buildings. Draw on the side that doesn't have paint so you can see. Right now it looks really crowded, so some of my buildings are too big, and I'm going to go back and use my scissors to trim them to be smaller. I do not want to put all of my buildings on the bottom. I want to play around with arrangements. Take some time to turn your buildings, try them in different places, and remember that some buildings should be high and some buildings should be low. Not all of your buildings need to be in the middle of your paper or on the bottom of your paper. If you need to change the size again, feel free to trim. Then you're going to add the roofs to your building. When you do this, you should use a different color. Decide which color is going to show up best on your sky. Purple would just blend in, so it's not a great choice. I think the blue will give me the most contrast. I'm going to use my building to help me draw my roof so I know it's the right size. I have not glued anything down yet, so this makes it really easy. I drew a triangle that's bigger than my roof, and then I'm cutting it out to see how it looks. Perfect. It's bigger than my building. If you forget to use your building to help you with your roof, you will probably cut triangles that are too small. Remember, take your building and lay it on the scrap that you're using for your roof. This will help you draw a size that's bigger than your base and make sure your roof is the right size. When you're making your roof, you do not have to use just triangles. You could use very thin rectangles. You could use a combination of the two. Every building should have some sort of roof, and it should be a different color than the base of your building. When you are done with your big base shapes and your roof, you can use your glue bottle to glue pieces down. Make sure that you twist your glue bottle to open and use dots in the corners of your building. Remember not to put the dot right on the edge. Give yourself a little bit of space for when you push on the glue and it spreads. Because we're using painted paper on paper with more paint on it, you need to make sure you count to 20 to get your building really stuck. If your building starts falling off, just push it down and count a little bit longer. You do not need to add more glue. Make sure you're giving that glue a chance to work before you move on to the next building. Work on getting all of your buildings glued and all of your roofs glued as well. When you're doing this, remember your paper needs to go on the drying rack and you need to be responsible and close your glue. Keep your paper flat when you go to the drying rack. If you have any scraps, big scraps can go back in the scrap bin, but tiny confetti scraps can go in the trash can. If you have shapes you didn't have time to glue, you can ask Miss Bergman for an envelope and you can put your extra shapes in the envelope in your folder to glue next time you come to art.